Are you thinking about moving to an Austin golf community? I mean, there are so many great ones to choose one. How do you make that choice? Well, I have 5 tactics for you to use today to help you narrow it down to the absolute best one. Stick around to the end because I also have a bonus one you don't want to miss. Hi, I'm Nicole Cooper, your Austin area real estate specialist for golf communities. If you want to know more about the golf communities before anyone else, tap the bell, hit subscribe, and let's move on. Today, we're going to cover the 5 top ideas you need to think about before you start going to these golf communities and visiting them. It will help you make the best selection. I mean, you're not just choosing the golf course, you're choosing the lifestyle, the luxury amenities, and all the homes and lifestyles that go into it. It can be complicated, but here we go. We're going to break it down to you right now. Here are our 5 ways to do it. First and foremost, it's location. I mean, it is real estate after all, and real estate is always location, location, location. But the things you have to decide about your golf community is, what else are you going to have to be driving to regularly? Obviously, you want to be close to the country club and the golf course itself, but if your child's school is a long distance away, if you have to commute to work somewhere every single day, that is going to play a key factor in your decision-making process because, hey, let's face it, Austin traffic isn't great. You want to drive in it as little as possible. Let's put it that way. So if you're living downtown, you may want to have your golf community be closer to downtown. If you don't have to drive anywhere for work, you don't have to drop any kids off at school, then maybe you might want to go farther out of town because you're always going to get more value for your money the farther away from downtown Austin you go. Overall in Austin, the golf courses are on the west side of Austin. There's one on the southeast corner and one kind of on the northwest, but by and large, the majority of golf courses are on that western section of town, heading out towards Lakeway and carrying on out to Spicewood. So that said, if you want to have your community be nearby drive, you're going to start leaning towards the west side of Austin unless you're down near Onion Creek or you're picking a public golf community. There are public golf communities scattered all around, so you don't have to be as specific with your location as you would one of the private country clubs. In the private country clubs, we have 10. The furthest one down southeast is Onion Creek Country Club. The rest are basically out west, and then you have Twin Creeks up in Cedar Park. And here's a map you can look at just for a brief overview. So here is the map view here. This is that southeast corner of town I was talking about for Onion Creek. Here are most of the majority of the golf courses out from 360 out towards Lakeway, and then you have Twin Creeks up in Cedar Park. The other thing to think about in your location is how much terrain and rolling hill country do you want? Do you want to have those panoramic vistas off the back deck? Are you okay with some more flat-lying type land? And then how often do you need to get to the airport? If you fly a lot, you're probably going to want to stick further to the southern portion of town or the northern portion of town. You can come around either way. You can come around on the toll from the north or around the south. So keep in mind, if you have to fly a lot, that is going to be a pivotal part of your decision-making process as well. The second factor is the actual golf course. I mean, there are tons of different types of golf courses. You have the tight and narrow, shorter style. You have the long and a bit more wide open off the tee box so you can air that driver out a little bit more often. You have some with more water. You have some with more bunkers. You have some with a lot of elevation change. I mean, that's just the topography. And then, the facilities. Do you want it just to be a golf specialist? Do you want it to have more other things there? And then, how many tournaments do they host a year? So just an example of golf course comparison for the UT Club and River Place, they are a stone's throw from each other, but they are completely different. At the UT Club, it is a bit more wide open fairways, longer holes for sure. And then at River Place, you're going to have more hidden views. You're going to have blind tee shots, dog legs around the corners and things. So you're probably going to hit irons off the tee a lot more often at River Place, whereas at the UT Club, you're going to be hitting driver all the time. And they're in the same hill country. They're the same rolling rolling terrain and rolling hills, but just completely different designs. Another example would be Austin Country Club versus Great Hills Country Club. Again, 10 minutes apart, but they are completely different. Austin Country Club is on the lake. The front 9, you have water views almost the whole time. The back 9, you have ravines and cliffside views like that. At Great Hills Golf Course, there's no water. I mean, they do have a creek on the golf course and you do have some ponds and things to hit over, but no big lakes, no big scenery like that. It is called Great Hills for a reason. There are great big hills out there and you do have some beautiful vistas for some panoramic views, but no lake views like Lake Austin. So you've got to start thinking about what's important to you and what you want to be seeing every time you tee off on those holes. Another factor that comes into play for the golf courses is, do you want a private country club? Do you want that exclusivity? It comes with a price tag, of course, but we have 10 private exclusive clubs in town. And then the other option is semi-private or public. Public, you can play anytime. It's always going to be busy. You just take your number, go out there and play your slow round of golf. Some of our public golf courses are actually in great condition, but just know that, everybody can play, so it can be sometimes very slow. Semi-private, think Falcon Head, Avery Ranch, Terra Vista, things like that. So you can buy a membership so that over time it is you get to save on your green fees, but the public can also play there as well. So it's a hybrid of the true private country club and the public kind of status. So there are options and prices all across the board that you can have in Austin. And for the private country clubs, the initiation fees range from $10,000 at the lowest end, that's River Place, up to $200,000, which is Spanish Oaks, and that's the highest one at the moment. These initiation fees ebb and flow as their membership status changes, and we have some new golf going in as we speak, and I'll talk about those in a little bit later. The third thing you should consider before you make the jump into a golf community is the facilities and amenities. Do you just want to focus on golf, or do you have more people in your family that want to have the social activities, the spa, the fitness, the tennis, and pickleball? So, for example, Spanish Oaks, it is a golf club. There's no tennis or fitness or anything else that comes with it. Now, there are things in the neighborhood that you can get that type of thing, but it is a true golf club. Hop over to the hills of Lakeway, which is 10 minutes away, and if you get the full signature membership, you get the World of Tennis, which has multiple courts, indoor and outdoor, pickleball, fitness, spa, wellness, aerobics, and all the fitness classes and boot camps and things like that, and social activities for the entire family. So those kind of checks and balances with what the amenities are something you're going to want to look at on the front end. And again, if you were to choose something like a Barton Creek, they have probably the most and best amenities in town, but you have to share it with a hotel. It's the Omni Resort Hotel that's in the middle of it, so you won't just have members there. So there's always a little bit of a payoff as to how many extras you get, as to how many people you have to share it with. So when you're shopping at these different communities, you may want to ask them how many members they allow at any one given time. The fourth thing you should think about before you move into the community is actually the real estate and the types of homes there. I mean, it kind of goes without saying, but if you're going to live inside or near the community, how expensive are the homes? Are they newer? Are they older? For example, in Onion Creek, it was built in the 70s and 80s, so chances are you're going to get a little bit older home with a little bit infrastructure in Onion Creek than say you would at the Barton Creek Canyons, where they're still building new. Same in Spanish Oaks, still building new. And I haven't mentioned this yet, but we have 2 new golf communities coming online very soon. Well, 2025, end of 2025 anyway. We have Travis Club, which is just past Lakeway, and then Laura Loma at Thomas Ranch, which is just out in Spicewood. So a lot of the golf memberships are getting full right now, but we're about to have 2 new clubs come online within the next year or 2 that will help alleviate some of that overcrowding. But anyway, back to the real estate. What are the homes worth? Well, In some golf communities, you can get in on the golf course under $1 million. In other golf communities, if you can see the golf course from your back porch, you're going to be in the multi-millions. So price point on homes is going to be a big deciding factor. Also, the size of the homes. Probably at Onion Creek and Twin Creeks, you're going to be able to get in a little bit smaller of a home, maybe even 2,000 square feet. Spanish Oaks, forget it. We're talking, minimum of maybe 3,500 square feet, but they're on average 5,000, 7,000, 8,000, huge homes. Same with Barton Creek at the Canyons, bigger homes. Each little community usually has some garden homes if you want to maybe have a lock and leave type situation. So it depends what you're looking for and which community has that little kind of nook that you want to buy into. And in addition to like the types of homes that are on the course or the types of homes that are in the neighborhood, what about the types of homes that are on the course? And what I mean by that is how close can you get to the golf, or can you get from the golf, depending on which way you want to be, to how you like it. So for example, at the UT Golf Club, the backyard fences are right next to the tee boxes and right next to the greens. Like if you're outside barbecuing, everybody that plays through is going to know it. At Amara or Barton Creek Canyons, the homes are much more private. They're set back much further from the fairways and the tee boxes. So if that's something important to you, or like if you are out barbecuing, for example, and you don't want everybody that drives by to see that you didn't invite them to your party, then maybe you want a little bit more setback from the golf courses. And so that's another factor to think about when you're talking about the real estate within each community. The fifth thing, number 5 to think about, is the membership costs. I touched on the initiation fees a little bit already, but in addition to that, there's also monthly dues. So you're going to take the combination of how much that large chunk of change is at the beginning to be a member, and then how much does it cost you each month. And within those monthly dues, do you get anything? Is there any food included with that? Are there any tee times included with that? Or is everything still another charge on top of the monthly dues? Also, if you have children that are getting a little bit older, maybe graduating high school, are they still allowed to play with you as a member, or do you have to pay the full guest fee for them? So how many guests do you get to bring per month, and at what price do they get to come? So all these little add-ons make a difference in the grand scheme of things as you go on from time to time, because let's face it, you're going to have your friends come out to play. You want to know how much that's going to cost you. And then if you have adult kids and you want them to play with you, you're going to want to know how much that is to cost you as well, or going to cost you as well. I have a good buddy that is a member out at Spanish Oaks, and her kids reach that threshold where they now have to pay guest fees. And she's like, when I go out there, it costs me $1,000 to play because I have to pay for my kids. So just think about that on the front end and ask those good questions to the membership directors. So you've made it to the bonus tip. Thanks for sticking around. Now the bonus tip is go to the neighborhood, spend some time in there. Those membership directors and salespeople are there to help you. They will show you around and give you insider tips. They'll actually introduce you to some members if there are any people around while you're there, and they'll let you play the golf course. If you're really serious about becoming a member, they want you to be happy. So they will allow you to actually play the golf course and tour all of the facilities, spa, tennis, pickleball, you name it, have lunch, get to know the area. And then while you're there, you can ask some other members just offhandedly, like, what do you think about the club? What do you think about the activities? Is there enough social calendar events for the couples, singles, kids, whatever suits you? So that's the way to get a little insider information, maybe when those membership directors aren't looking over your shoulder so closely. So that's a wrap. It's location, the golf course, amenities, the real estate, and the membership costs. Now that you know how to find the perfect golf community, let me know what you're going to choose. Comment below. I answer them all myself and would love to hear what you think about these ideas to help you choose your golf community. And even better, I would love to know which one you plan to choose. And hey, if you don't know yet and you need some help, you may want to see some homes in person, I'm here for you. Call me, text me, email me anytime. I'm always available to help you find the perfect home that matches your lifestyle. Until next time, be kind to yourself and others. Keep it in the short grass. I can't wait to see you on the golf course.